Ciao Lauren.
Hi there, Erika. I would say that playing rugby in high school was challenging. As I said, we've never seen the game before. It's not very widely promoted in Canada. It's not on TV. So it was really interesting starting to play. I would say that, it's also really challenging too, because at the time in the 90s, there was really sexist views about girls playing rugby. Many people felt it was a boys' game, a man's game. And so, we had to deal with a lot of stereotypes of people's misconceptions about how girls playing rugby. So we were, it was a really interesting time because I was in high school trying to, negotiate my identity and my sense of belonging while still having to hear these kind of negative views about girls playing and around femininity and around, playing a sport that particularly the boys at our school were really passionate about as well. They felt quite, they found it hard for the girls to play sometimes. So it was a real turning point for me to get involved in activism and promoting girls playing sports. I think it really ignited something in me that really, something that I built a lifelong commitment to. And also I wanted to say that during a time when I was really young and trying to figure out my identity and sense of belonging, my rugby team became my sisters and just really had an impact on my life with regards to how I felt about myself. And that's why I fell in love with the game. Well, I think that when you play rugby, you have to be a feminist, right? It's part of the game. And I think that having the mindset that anything is possible, and you have to approach it with a can-do attitude, right? You can't let something knock you back, whether it's someone telling you no, or someone telling you that you're less than, or someone telling you it's not possible. It's not true. You really have to go at it like it can be possible, and it will be possible. I absolutely love this age group. I feel like, we had coaches that were technical coaches who could take them to the performance pathways, right? And so for me, I used to show up at the field and I wanted to know how things were going at home. I wanted to know how things were going at school. I wanted to know how things were going socially with them, their growth, their confidence, how they felt as a girl turning into a woman. Like, those were moments for me that were really important. And to be able to contribute to that was such an important feeling. I remember constantly saying to them, I have one son who is a biological son, but I have so many daughters. And for me, that was such a powerful contribution to give to rugby. And I'm so proud of the girls that have come through the system that I've been able to be a part of. They've grown into such amazing, powerful women doing some amazing things. I've seen some girls build amazing rugby programs, just the way that I did it when I was a kid. We're starting to see them reproduce that right now, which is so exciting. We have players building university programs. My dear friend who is a player of mine built up Hijabi Ballers, which is an amazing girls or women's women's Muslim sports program in Toronto that's having a major impact on society. So it's just really exciting to be part of that pinnacle time where you're actually having an impact on a girl's life. Just like when I was younger, I had really powerful women who had an impact on me.
Did you said Muslim program?
Yeah, not rugby. Although rugby is a component of it. Amreen Quata runs Hijabi Ballers. She was a player of mine with the Yeoman Lions, and she runs this amazing organization in partnership with Nike and some other partners who basically focus on getting females to be empowered, Muslim females who wear hijabs, to be empowered to play sports, including rugby.
Wow. This is another demonstration about mindset and, in reality, the connection with the territory. because we are not just sport, we are a way of educating.
Freedom for me is when we start to really realize that rugby, femininity, sexuality, and all, don't have anything to do with each other. And that we can just be respected as athletes. I think that for too long, we have poked too hard at women's rugby or female rugby. And I think we should be growing up girls to be amazing athletes, period. Not women's rugby players. Just amazing rugby players. Oh, that's a hard one. I want to say never give up. Take it forward. Move the pendulum. Those are all really, that's where I'm always going. Let the ground shift. That's one of the biggest mantras I go by. Give back. Especially with the promotion of the Premiership and around the Olympics and around World Cups and all those things, we're really seeing the push. It's really great that women's rugby is so high profiled in the media with regards to coverage of that. But I know particularly in Canada and just in North American sport, we're obsessed with high performance. We're obsessed with elite. We're obsessed with putting our kids in special programming so they can get better and better and better. But my argument is that, rugby wasn't designed always to be the best rugby player. Like the point of rugby is that it's an inclusive sport where everyone is welcome. Different sizes, different personalities, different skill sets, and to quantify that the fastest runner is the best player is not something that happens in rugby. So I think that right now we should really understand that everyone has a role within rugby teams. And we should really celebrate players who are focused on different areas. So for instance, sure, we're going to have a percentage of players that are talented and who want to be aspiring for high performance. But not everyone. Some people want to be there for a sense of belonging and a sense of identity, and also to feel a safe place to be. There's a lot of girls that I've coached who coming to the field is a very safe space compared to other parts of their life. So what we have to do is really have to promote not only high performance pathways, but also leadership pathways in rugby. We really have to encourage the next generation to get involved in coaching, reffing, administration. That's really important to our game. And I think that that's going to have an impact long term. So I want to show you my first club award. You probably can't see it because it's so old. But basically, I really didn't want to play club at the beginning. I was terrified. And my high school coach at the time said, if you don't play club, I won't coach your high school team. And all those girls will be super disappointed if I don't coach. Do you want to deal with that? So I started playing rugby at club and I was terrified. And so the whole season, I really struggled with my confidence, but I showed up to every single game. I worked so hard. I've never been a super athlete. I've never been the most talented, but I've always been the hardest worker. So I won Most Improved Player for the first year of inception of the Toronto Barbarians RFC. And for me, that really, at the time, I was really embarrassed that I got it because it meant, I was the best player. I was the worst player and kind of got better during the season. But what I started to realize that this really motivated me, that there's always more to be done. There's always more you always have to work harder. You always have to push further. And that Most Improved is such a reflection of someone who is under the radar, doesn't have to be the most talented, and can still be recognized as having an impact on the game. I think one of my biggest mantras is Bill Walsh, who's one of my favorite coaches for the 49ers in football, American football, says the score takes care of itself. And you really should focus on the process. The real success is to do with the process. And so what we were just saying before about not being the top athlete, I think I might have scored 10 tries in 25 years, but I probably assisted thousands, right? I think that sometimes we really focus on the end result. We're always obsessed with where we're going to get to, but we never really focus on how we're going to get there. So that's my mantra.